you can't do more than just talk. You know, you got to be there in person. Okay, and they do respond if enough people start filling up their offices every week, demanding a meeting for the same thing. They do listen. They got a lot of bills up there that I mean, a lot of legislations that they read through, and sometimes they can't read it all. And they need the assistance, and all they're listening to is lobbyists and prosecutors. So we as a group have to basically, you know, get these bills. We have a list of bills that we passed out, but if you don't have it right now, you will have it. You have to go to the committees, get on record, and they're going to try to control the speech. You know, don't worry about talking, put it in writing, okay? And in writing, yeah. And get it on the record. That's very important, to get it on the record, okay? Now, with the lobby day, I didn't want to blow right through, but that ties into 5512. I personally believe we could have stopped that bill. I really do. If we would have, I mean, we should have, would have, could have, but that's done now. But if we could have called enough people and put the hit on that bill, okay? Now, we could do the same thing in the Senate. And mind you that there's an election coming up in August, and some of those people are on the ballot. And some of them, like I think Padma Kuppa, she's going for Senate, but she voted yes on 5512. That would take something like a questionnaire, a town hall, cannabis town hall, to interview the candidates and see where their position is on, you know, marijuana. And you want to step in, Rep?
Yeah, I want to step in because
do what you want. Can you hear the Rep? Can you hear Rep Johnson? No, she got to turn the mic on.
No.
Okay. Okay, while she's figuring that out, this House bill, the House Bill 5512 is in the Senate Regulatory Reform Committee. Okay. And the final committee is on senatemi.gov. It's going to go through the same for regulatory reform, go to committee, then go to the full Senate floor. Then they're going to run it right up to the governor. Okay.
Do you know why it was in the Judiciary Committee in the House and then the regulatory in the Senate? Did they just choose to change it over to regulatory from Judiciary?
As far as changing committees, I'm looking at, I don't care what committee is going to, but whenever they schedule a hearing, you got to be there.
Right. Well, there's 3 Democrats on the Reform Senate, and there's only 2 Democrats on the Judiciary. So I feel like it's kind of better that way. We did speak with Jeff Irwin, Senator Irwin, about 5512. He said we need 12 no's. And we're reaching out to our senator because he's the head of the Senate for.
He's head of the Democratic Senate there, Ananich.
Okay.
He's also going out of office, so we're hoping he'll do us a favor.
And we're constituents in his area already, so he's going to be our main target on lobby day.
Okay, remember, weed is bipartisan, so now we need some of these patients that live in some of these red districts to start piling into the senator's office and say, hey, you know, you need to vote no on this.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, make it bipartisan. That's the only, you know, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And especially start going to their coffees and bug them once a week, once or twice a week. 1 to 2, 3 people, you know, maybe not just like, for instance, Amy, if they see you, Whoopi, but they see you and Trish and maybe Jamie, or keep different people and then organizations, you know, in paper objecting to it, then those bills tend to die. And especially if some of those cats are running for re-election. Now in the House, I know Rep Johnson and Rep Carter are running in the same District 1. Rep Carter voted yes, and Rep Johnson voted no. Okay, that's straight up political meat. So just got to use what you got because they're showing no scruples about getting a bill through, and they've seen that. And you know, this bill 5512 ran through. So I mean, THUI decision was in February, and they got this thing through in the House by March. And we have a hell of a lot more issues that we need to fast track beside chasing people for weed. Okay, be honest with you. That's the whole thing. You fast tracking one set of legislation to take the rights of the people away, and then you turn around and BS on like the sales taxes on medical marijuana, Jaden's Law, and other bills. Okay, and don't get me started with him. Okay, hempcrete. You know, this is we called bullshit on them, and they don't listen to their constituents, which you are their employers. Okay, the employer's talking to the employee. You look at it like that and have no fear, and they can be defeated, or you make them pay on election day. Rep, are you in now or no?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Bring it.
You,
Mute. I'm
Mute.
muted.
I think even after he mutes, you still can, you have to go into other settings to really, yeah, that'll work too. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. We've got so much stuff going on. It is unbelievable. And this is one of those big issues that we do have to and should want to honestly deal with. Most of, I would almost bet that most legislators who vote on anything really don't know a whole lot about those things that they vote on. That is not to say that I too have not been one of those people. I have. I've asked while sitting on the floor, I've said, what is that bill about? The reality is there is no way possible for any of us to read all of the legislation that sometimes comes to us in matter of hours. I've seen minutes where we are presented with some legislation that we are expected to vote on. And when that happens, be real clear, I'm understanding why they do it and why even though there's more Democrats in the state of Michigan, there's something really going on. I think that unfortunately, any white woman can say that she's Democrat and be allowed into our party. And I think that that may be a mistake. That may be a mistake because we have too many Republicans. There's no way Michigan should ever be nothing but a majority Democratic state. So those are some of the things that we have to honestly deal with. That reality that will always skew what we want or what we need as justice. Justice is how much power one can hold on to. And unless we are ready to not necessarily go and knock down the party, because I'll just be perfectly straight up with you. There is no way in hell I would ever be okay with the Republican Party. And I know that there are some of my friends on this Zoom. But my experience has been that both party, Democrats and Republicans, they're the same. I just happen to be invited to the party because I have a little melanin. And so maybe the same issues that one group of white people, and hear me out totally, y'all. Those issues that really are believed by the other wing of the bird. And they just need some other folks to make it push over. So those people who can help them push their agenda over happen to be Black people and women. I mean, we really have to think about this thing, guys. People are playing games with us. I'm almost afraid to say, but I will say, y'all know who I am. You know what I'm about. I may not be right all the time. And if I find that I'm wrong, I quickly will apologize. I believe in that. But I'll tell you, until we are ready to hold all leaders, regardless of what party they come from, until we are ready to hold leaders accountable and respectfully, to hold them respectfully accountable. You see, I have a little cynicism only because of my experience after getting into office, believing that I could have this wonderful relationship on both sides of the aisle, because after all, I got some white in me. I could relate. I know, we're on the same page, most of us. It doesn't matter. We are all on the same page. That's what my brain told me. That's what my beliefs told me. But then on December 3rd, 2020, it changed my life. And I know some of you have heard this story, and I don't mean to keep belaboring it, but it's extremely important to know what we are dealing with. We are dealing with an entity, regardless of party. We are dealing with an entity whose goal is to make you as small as possible. It even reminds me of how women are treated in domestic violence situations. Very so similar. Make you feel so small, make you think you're so small, beat you down to the point where you're tired. That's what too many of our caregivers are going through. Be real clear. This government's goal is not medical. That's not the goal. That was only, they only did that law to open up the gate. That, that was like that bait and switch. Bullshit. So they're playing the fucking game. And y'all supposed to play the game with them. I might have been a very rich woman had I played the game. I am about what is right. there's another issue that we have to deal with as a group. And when things like this come up, we have to address them quickly. The 7-year-old child who was in school, who had picked up a gummy. One of the kids gave her a THC gummy. I don't know how we are going to address issues like that. But if you want me to continue to be a part, I have to know that the adults who I know who are in the room are adults. And we will not be afraid to deal with real life issues. If y'all can promise that to me, I swear, I got your back. I got you. And I love you. Now I'm going to turn it over to who's next?
This is question and answer.
All right.
Richard, you're on mute.
I'm on mute, I'm sorry. Okay, I want to thank Rep. Johnson, and right now it's question and answer session. And once again, we need more effective legislators in the House and Senate. You know, want to pat Rep. Johnson on the back for getting the pictures on the medical marijuana card. Now, we could do that. We could shut down this bill with a dog attack, you know, just a dog attack, firing up the caregivers. But now we want to get some questions and answers, any ideas, kind of gave you the playbook on how to defeat a bill.
Listen, if we are not ready to put some real skin in the game, these folks are going to overtake us. That really is the bottom line.
Right.
We can talk all fucking day long, but they are waiting. All of these cases that we see in the news about safety, this shit is not by accident. It's not by accident. I just found out that there is going to be a grow in my city, in my district. And I'm going to tell you guys, listen, if y'all want to do a grow or anything in anybody's district, give the representative the respect to let them know what you are planning. It's only a matter of respect. So anyway, we have this grow who comes from, what state was that?
New York.
Yeah, New York.
Right.
Yet we have all these Black folks in the city of Detroit who cannot get in. That's a problem. And that should be a problem. I don't give a damn what color you are. That should be a problem. Because you see, the reason I'm saying it should be a fucking problem, because your issues are my issues. They don't stop when the issues become a problem for Black people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Just saying. Yeah, this is a company that got a grow coming in the district, and they've been since 2020. There's a last activity, agro grow business. They're having a hearing Tuesday, but
Why don't you put that information in chat?
I'll find it. I just sent it. I sent it to an email to the rep. We did a discussion.
Do your thing and I will look forward to that.
But anybody has any questions, but yeah, these guys come in from out state. Well, I mean, well-funded. All of a sudden they got all the zoning and they're going to put up and go through the hearing process. You gotta hire, I mean, we're talking about hiring local and reinvestment and all that. So that's
That's
part of
what
the
happened in Flint.
Slap in our faces.
So, as a group, you need a dude rep.
That's what's happened in Flint,
You
actually.
need a dude rep. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, is the MRCR, what's up?
Hey, listen, we can't talk too much about Brisbane. Only thing is that he would love to be a doctor. Did I say that?
Brisbane Desire. Okay. Um, But like I said, what we really wanted to do is start getting this caregiver base and the constituent in some of these flip-flopping senators' district and just put the heat on them. I mean, my senator's Adam Hollier, and I'm gonna wear him out because he's running for Congress. And if he even dream on voting yes to that bill, he's done.
Listen, leave the brother alone. He only at 4%, so don't.
He'll be lower than that when I get, but anyway. Uh, but that's what you gotta do, man. And right now, I got a hand raise. And Brandy Zink, I'm gonna be quiet. Go ahead, Brandy.
Thank you so much to the Rep Johnson and to Richard for facilitating this call. I want to talk about some logistics perhaps, because I think that we're all on the same page as far as, we know that the call is very urgent now. So to be as organized as we possibly can and have a successful, at least May 19 is an opportunity. So I wanted to, have the coalition that we had started before. Jared Jeffries at the Cannabis Council was generous enough to give him the opportunity to organize all of this. So I want to take the charts that we had where we had the running whip count and create a new one with the Senate page so that we can schedule appointments and get all in the spreadsheet, all the information like we did before. So I really want to encourage everyone who's part of an organization to use your organization to create an action alert so that we can make action alert for the phone calls and for the email blasts, but also to make the appointments with the senator and rep. For the lobby day, some details. The iHemp Expo is going to be Friday and Saturday, but they're a member in Americans for Safe Access Michigan chapter is co-sponsors of this expo. We're hosting on Thursday evening reception to invite all the legislators and staff to come and have a mixer with the folks who are with the iHemp Expo. So to take opportunity while they're still in town and invite them if they want to participate and they get a ticket to the expo. So I thought what a great opportunity for all of these people who are already here from Michigan Normal and the various other coalition groups to get everybody together to use your networks so we can get these appointments scheduled and make the most of this opportunity.
Okay. I got a hand up here. Miriam, if you unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a couple of things that I put in the chat. I was wondering if that's where you're looking, because I don't have a Q&A on I don't have access to question answer, but I do have access to chat. So I just wanted to put that in there.
Okay, got you too. Me either.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And then I also wanted on the subject, I'm not sure that the Marijuana Regulation Agency that they understand exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about social equity or when we're talking about the need for caregivers. I every time I go to one of their trainings and they have them monthly, it's either one of their own representatives or it's like one of the either an attorney or part of the the industry, big name industry.
Okay.
Quite frankly, agree with what Representative Johnson said. you know,
Yeah, Miriam, you're cutting in and out. That's okay. But I believe you wanted to hear
I'm
Rep.
sorry.
Johnson's opinion about the MRA and, you know, they're doing the social equity. Am I right or wrong?
Social equity as well as the caregiver and just dealing with his patients, individual patients. You know, hello, I've already, you know, I had an MS patient that I was able to get a caregiver, medicine. I tried to sort of navigate, you know, looking into the economics of it and making sure that the stuff wasn't poisoned and things like that. I got a child out of foster care who, you know, they got in a rumble with protective services and the police over the fact that he had epilepsy and they were using cannabis for that in their home. And, you know, there's all kinds of people, they're just individuals out there and there's nowhere to go when they're, you know, running afoul of what the establishment is where the establishment's at, I guess.
Okay,
And I know
thanks.
that it's a big a conversation to have right now, but I'm wondering, you know, the MRA doesn't seem to be very responsive to all that stuff. They are responsive to the industry and to the attorneys, including cannabis attorneys, when they press, you know, it's a squeaky wheel situation, I think, you know.
Well, Miriam, thanks for that question. That's a good observation. That brings us back to that, like the Jaden's Law bill. The kind of things you want to advocate for the children and autism. And you got to take that argument about safety and children away from them because the same crowd is talking about safety and we love guns and want to give every kid an
Well,
AK-47.
I certainly don't
You
disagree.
know,
with the
get the
story
hell
about
out of
the child
here with
with
that
gummies, you know?
bullshit. You know,
Right, but I don't
okay,
disagree that it has to be responsible use, certainly. You know, we need to
yeah.
checking all the, you know, we need to be demonstrating good role modeling too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. I want to get Jamie. You had a question. He had his hand up like this. So
While we were talking about it, I just want to interject that Robin Schneider said that we can use her offices again on May 19th as we did
that's
last fall.
great.
Bobby.
That's great.
Is it
And,
a fundraiser?
No, this.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Rep's got an ongoing fundraiser at the website, johnsonfordistrict1.com. So she's got Act Blue.
But
account.
listen, I'm not doing this for that.
Right.
You have to know who I am to know. Maybe I said that and shouldn't have said it. Maybe I'll regret saying it because somebody's gonna take it out of fucking context, but it wasn't meant in any other way except when y'all gonna give me a fundraiser.
Some of
Yeah,
us are nonpartisan and non-political. We're
I understand.
but we
But we're gonna
appreciate
run a
you.
few
We love you.
ads.
I
things
really
like
want
that.
to take opportunity to get some details because time is short. I know we're preaching to the choir here, and we got your back too, Rep. Johnson. Want you to know.
All right, so listen, let me just say this, and I'm glad that you're bringing this up because we have to get down to understanding what our guidelines are. What is the mission statement? Because you can ask, someone can ask me right now, well, what is this group all about? Caregivers and patients. And we're trying to make sure that the courts don't take our rights from us, from those who have an immunity. Well, what else, Miss Johnson or Rep. Johnson? I don't know. So my point of it is that of course I know a little bit more, but not too much more. I want to be clear. I want us to be on one page, regardless of who you are. If we're in this one fight together, we don't have to have any chiefs. We just need workers. Workers to write letters. Workers to make phone calls. workers to knock doors. But I'll tell you that there's a couple of groups that are really untapped. And that's our fault. The prison system is untapped. Now, I'm putting a partisan hat on right now. Is that okay? Okay, so I'm putting a partisan hat on right now. I'm a Democrat. I'm going to do, I would love to see us do everything we could to encourage those inmates in prison to educate and encourage those family and friends who are not yet in prison, hopefully never will be. Because as ironic and as crazy as this might sound, there are people who actually believe people in prison more than they do on the outside. So I'm thinking that we have an untapped group of people who, with all we need them to do is, hey, listen, please encourage your family to vote. Not telling you how to vote. Well, if you vote for me and other folks, I mean, you know, but know who you're voting for. Don't just vote for me just because you see my face or because we went to church together or because you just like the way I speak. And don't not vote for me just because I am assertive, aggressive when I have to be. Because know this for each and every one of you, and then I'm going to really have to leave. I will carry the cross. I don't have a problem with that. I have nothing to lose. I'm 63 years old. Yes, I would love to go to the Dominican Republic and just live out the rest of my life, but there's so much work here in all areas of life. This today is about the fairness when it comes to cannabis. And I want you all to work your asses off and make sure you make everything that you do, make it count. Yes, you do have to have guidelines. Yes, you should absolutely include Jayton's law bill. You should also demonstrate good leadership. I love all those things. Right now, I've got to go. God bless you all. Have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Johnson. You're on mute again, Richard. And I just dropped in the chat a draft agenda for the tentative schedule for the lobby day. Richard, you're muted.
I really appreciate everybody participating in this meeting. I did put a message in the chat about using the senator's voicemail. That tactic works if enough people start calling the voicemail and say voting on 5512 and other issues. They do listen. They do listen. So that's another venue that's access to you. because one of the techniques they use on the rep, they call it a drunk call, right? And they was threatening us. They call it anytime, talk trash. And then I call them back and then they apologize. But no, but if you want to use the voicemail, use that voicemail on it, okay? So any other questions before we hang out and disappear?
Hey, I have one question and I want to see if maybe you can put us in the direction. I'm always gonna bring up Pennsylvania and Oregon. They contacted somebody. I don't know if it was the Bureau of Justice Association or the Department of Justice or whatever to be able to get that clarification. Do you, or will you be able to find out whom we need to contact in Washington or whatever to see if we can get that for ourselves?
Absolute. I know it's in the Pennsylvania case. It's a part of the federal. It was a federal part of federal CFR regulation that basically called BS on that federal funding argument.
Yep.
Yep.
Trish Mason had that. She sent me the article, and it's from that Pennsylvania case in the drug court, and that's the one that the senators need to vote no on.
Well, we gave that to you. You guys actually sent that out when we sent it to you the first time, but now there's another hearing because that was actually sent to go out to everybody, and oopsie, it didn't go out. So that's
So
something with
states are having to request it.
yeah, so
correct?
states are having to request it now. And if they actually go back to January 1st of 2020 when it came out, they would have to reverse all the cases that it involved. So I think they're trying to avoid it. So I was wondering if there's a way that we can actually get that clarification. Or if Rep Johnson be able to push that.
Okay, here's my thinking. Okay, we got the language. Okay, it was just the way we market it. Okay, we got the I read it. I read it also, and it's just a matter of getting that exact quote back and using that argument in the presentation to vote no, because basically they lied. They lied to those House of Reps, and they knew it had nothing to do with funding. So, and like I say, they don't read a lot of these bills, and that's how they blew it right by us. It showed up right on the docket the next week. Boom, boom. So
We know better.
yeah. So that one we have to resurrect and put in a document.
Are you talking about federal funding thing 5512?
Right.
All right, so
You got it.
like I don't want to be an echo here.
Okay.
Is this better?
You're good.
All right, so the funding, according to Judge Hoffman, when we were able to meet with him on this issue, who's of course lobbying on behalf of passing this with the judges and with GCIA, told us that the major funding source when they're talking about this is this organization called JBA. I forgot what it stands for now, like Judicial Bureaucratic Assistance or something like that.
Right.
And it has a policy, and it clearly states that if the money isn't used to support medical marijuana use, there isn't any conflict in getting it.
Right. I do remember that article because Trish sent it and I read it. I read the link, and I have to dig it up again.
Well, and I'll email that to you, but what I'm saying is, how are they getting away with this? It's already implemented in on federal standing. So somehow, by the time that came out, it accidentally didn't get to every drug court in the state. So the same type of situation happened in Oregon. Again, it didn't get to every single state. I feel like that wasn't an accident. So how are they able to obtain that information? I think it's through the Bureau of Justice Association, because after I went and looked for that information, I get emails from all the time, and they're the ones that actually do all the funding, or I get it all the time. They're like, hey, do you want to sign up to do a drug court, or do you want to do this class or whatever. And I think that's where we have to go. But if you do look through that article, maybe you'll catch on to something that you and Rep Johnson will be able to maintain.
Absolutely. And that's the kind of thing that not only rep you get, but that's the kind of thing we have to educate the senators about.
Well, you can
Mhm.
show the section
to
of the
show them-
policy by that agency that says it
Right.
won't conflict as long as you don't use
Right.
it for certain things. So it's not
Right.
an issue.
We
Right.
need this in like digestible form for the people who are gonna be talking to their legislators and like talking points, because, you know,
That-
I'm not even following half of what you're saying, because, you know, it's very specific. And, you know, to dumb it down, if you will, enough so that the masses can understand. So we send
I
it out
got
to our memberships, good talking points. I'm begging,
Absolutely.
you know, the other groups involved, please help generate some of this content, especially since you understand it so well.
I already have it created. I'll send it out to all of you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Oh, you are so awesome. You guys are
And,
rock
you know,
stars.
Been working on this a
Yay.
long time.
Hmm.
That would basically call bullshit, call BS on them because they lied to the House.
I
That's-
told them straight up at the
Yes.
House. I told them in testimony, this exists. I gave it to them. They're like,
And,
when you
see,
put it
Trish,
on-
Nobody believed us.
yeah, they didn't
well,
believe
no,
us.
no. Here's what the deal is. You have that in writing, okay? You have that in like a one sheet, like a one
Yeah, we dropped off. Ryan and I.
page document. No, I don't see a purse. Okay, a one-page document, and that's the kind of stuff you need to, when you have the meetings with these senators, have this in writing because they need to freaking read. If you hit them, if you keep coming at them with that same basic truth, you know, and you call, I mean, they will have nowhere else to go.
We have to send this to all of them.
I will say
Okay.
that Michigan Weedsters did put that in writing on a one-page sheet. I got 110 of them printed up in Lansing. And the day that we came to see you, actually,
Yeah.
the Dana Nentzel Day. And
Yep.
we did take that sheet around and to 110 different reps that day. And it
And
said
to-
right on there that the funding would not be affected.
And then that document, if you don't put it in their hands, send them in their email, or if you
Mhm.
call them at 3 a.m. saying, hey, the funding will not be affected. Now you gotta, I mean, one document, you gotta keep repeating the message is what I'm trying to say. To drum it in, so by the time I come up for a vote in the beat them up in the committee and try to beat them up on the floor. You got 38 senators, okay? 38 senators.
Mhm.
And part of them are part of the committee. So not only you lighten them up in the committee, but you hitting the entire Senate
Mhm.
and the governor. Don't forget, because she can veto this shit too, right? I think she can. So
I don't think she can if it's 3/4 majority in the House and 3/4.
yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
Yeah.
Or maybe we need a doggone ballot initiative to repeal it as soon as it become law.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so I really want to appreciate everyone's time, but I want to focus on the other details that might be loose ends, so we can be really effective together. There's a Google document that was we've used before last time, and there's an email thread that Jared Jeffries created. Is everyone on that email thread? Maybe Miriam's not. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't think I am. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know you don't know, but everyone else I think was on that old thread. Well, I'm gonna make a new spreadsheet with the senators and so that we can put the notes and information on that. The packet, I'd like every contributing group to have your wonderful Michigan Weedsters, your one pagers, and Michigan Normal. ASA is gonna provide some too. We can perhaps I want to ask anyone want to work together offline to create a document like the similar to what we did before coalition. Yes, Latrish? Oh, I think you're on mute.
I can throw it together. So we have something that we commonly all agree with. I can just slap everybody's logos on it. It's really
Woo-hoo!
powerful with all
Okay.
our logos coming from each organization together, I believe.
Okay.
Woo-hoo! Thank you,
What-
thank you. Okay, so we'll work on the info for the packets and throw that together. I want to ask that first, so we know we have enough like handouts for each team of people who are gonna go, and for every legislator's office. Asking for sponsors to help pay for the cost of printing. So the participating groups, if you have a budget, will you commit to contributing to help paying for printing so we can actually make sure we've got good material?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so then the Radisson Hotel has a space where we're gonna have the reception in the evening from 5 to 7. We can have that space from the morning and then keep it through the day so people have a place to check in. Because there's a catered meal there, we decided, well, we don't really want to do a catered meal because of the contracts with the hotel. We have to do the catering. So Robin Schneider, though, so generously offered to again have the MICIA's offices host, and she said that they feed people if they wanted to go over there. So I thought, like, in between your meetings or at lunchtime, you can take your there'll be this is not it, but for example, the feedback form. So we could have like the list of bills that were pro, the list of bills that were against, and a couple bullet points. Have that kind of a sheet, so that can be turned in after everyone's meetings. They can turn it in and get their lunch at the MICIA. We can even start tabulating votes there. So
Okay.
I'm encouraging people to, if you need help, you can, we're gonna update the link. I think Jared said he's gonna update the link. So when we're ready to invite the public to use the link. But I was hoping that we could take the old list that we have from everyone who participated. I've got 120 people from that November 7 day last year, and call everyone who is on that list. If they want to, I'll ask them to make their appointment. Then they can let us know the appointment times. Otherwise, I made 400 phone calls last time. So it's just easier if we can self-appoint and encourage people to do that. And I was thinking strategically, I want to ask everyone here your input of, if we give too much of a heads up to the public, where everyone knows we're having lobby day, then like the senators might not show up, like just like the House did last time. Very few people had successful meetings because they were told not to have the meeting. So I want to ask everyone's opinion of, like, should we invite the public, through our member list, or should we keep it quiet for now?
Flash mob.
My opinion is no. I think there's enough of us to be able to take on the Senate ourselves. There's only 38 of them. That's my opinion.
Mhm.
I agree, because it'll be the saboteurs coming in there too. So
Right.
if you can make an appointment now, and then just going in. They did. You put it like this: when y'all came in the last time that we heard about y'all, they talked about everybody that came up in it knee deep thick and everything else. They freaked out. So keep it with the group, and try to get as many people that are on our side to go up in there. Okay. And repeated meetings too, whether in person or remotely, especially if you live in a district. The more they see you, by the time they'll say, "Oh hell, you coming in here with that 55-12? I'm going to vote no. Leave me alone. Get out of here." So it works. It works. It works. And for those hard butts that want to vote against the people, you really lean on them with their constituents. So, but I know we had a hard stop at 5 o'clock, and I was going to wrap it up. So any final thoughts before we say goodbye and see us all again? Going once.
Thank you, Richard. Please, we'll follow up everyone on email, and I really appreciate everyone, especially you getting this call together and calling us to action.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Representative Johnson. It's very generous spending of her time.
Thank you. Hey, okay. Thank you. I'm old school techie, and this Zoom shit's really, I'm catching on. And I want to thank you guys for putting up with me and moderating the meeting. So with that being said, y'all have a great night and let's keep on fighting, man. Let's keep it freed indeed.
Thank you. It's good to see everybody.
Good to be
Amy
seen.
Everybody-
Nice to see you, Mr. Abel.
and Jamie. and
Wait. Boom. End the meeting. Did I end the
Thank-
meeting?
No, you didn't, Richard. Thank you. We'll talk
All
to you
right.
soon. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for really, this wouldn't have happened without you and the rep doing it. And so thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
And we
peace.
out of here.